Balotelli, Aguero! Premier League champions 2016, Leicester City!
Hope to see you soon. Well done. Bye-bye.
Cazorla, Giroud again, Joe Wilson! Here's Gerrard. That's a great shot! McCracken getting closer. To the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent! Van Persie arriving. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Robin Van Persie!
Welcome to SFeatleyTV, guys. As you can see, I've taken over Steven's channel. I got with me here a special guest, Carlos. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. It's great, you know. I got a new channel. It already got over 1,000 subscribers. So.
Oh, after subscribing, it looks pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the only time I come on camera. Stick that.
Yeah, guys. So, yeah, let's hear from you. Aston Villa, you've not started the season as well as probably expected. And am I right to say that Steven Gerrard is a bit under pressure?
I think he is. I think he's already under pressure. I mean, I've been brutally honest. It's been pretty painful watching lately. And I was just saying earlier, I feel like there's no identity, no plan. It's like, what are we doing? We look like strangers on the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at, since he's joined, if you look at the players Aston Villa bought to a team that was already quite good, I think he's underperformed, and that's me being a bit nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the players we got, we should at least be sort of starting in the top half of the table. But as I said, it's so slow, it's painful, there's no urgency. And so against West Ham, it was the same problem. It was just we did nothing in the final third, and then it came back to bite us towards the end of that goal. So it was their own fault.
Yeah. So I know that Aston Villa owners has a lot of ambition and they want to do well. They want to become a team that become a European team. At least I think the Conference League was probably the target for this season. But it hasn't really worked out with Gerrard. Do you think he will still be the Aston Villa manager at the end of the season, or is it too early to say?
Well, it's still a bit early to say, but he's got to get some results soon because otherwise, you know, Dean Smith, our last manager, was sacked for a lot less, and Gerrard's got a worse right. I mean, there was a stat going around the other day. He has a worse record than Gary Neville at Valencia.
Yeah. No, I saw that. I think the reason why people don't really know about it because it's not talked about much in the Sky Sports or BT Sports. I guess it's hard for them to criticize him because they're all mates. But I'm sure if it was another manager, it would have been highlighted more. But can you take anything positive from the start of the season? It looks like Watkins is back in form. Do you agree?
It's a struggle to find anything positive, but there's one player who feels them okay out of all the others, and that's that Kamara we bought from, I think, was it Marseille on a free. He looks pretty decent. Obviously, Watkins chipped in with a couple of assists against Everton, but I don't know, it's really hard to find any positives. There seems to be problems behind the scenes as well. I mean, Tyrone Mings got the captaincy taken away and they've given it to John McGinn, and he's another one who's really been pretty much anonymous.
Yeah, do you understand why it was taken away from Mings? Was it because he bought Diego Carlos and was going to play him in concert? But you don't have to take the armband away from him.
No, I think lately I think Mings has been far better than Concert, and obviously Diego Carlos, he's been very unfortunate. That's been really unfortunate, him getting that Achilles injury, because he's going to be out for a long time. But Mings is a leader. He's got a real big voice at the back, and you need that. yeah, he's prone to the odd error, but without him, our record's far worse without him at the back.
Yeah, no, I agree. For me, it was a weird decision because we've seen it, for example, at Chelsea. You know, Azpilicueta doesn't play week in, week out, but he's still their captain because in that dressing room, when someone needs to talk to the guys, when you need that energy, the extra voice, you know, your Minks, your Aspis, those are the one you need to have on your side as a manager to make such a controversial decision and
So
not
close to the
start.
start of the season as well.
Yeah. I think he got that one wrong,
Yeah.
and now he has to rely on Mings because Diego Carlos out. I know it's a bit of unfortunate, but it's football. You have to look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut across you there.
Go on, no,
Yeah, you got to look at the bigger
Fair,
picture and get injuries. Injuries come
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah.
obviously, I said Diego Carlos is out for 6-9 months now, so we're really short. And we've obviously sent Courtney Horst out on loan as well to Watford, so we're pretty short at the back, and our defenders are pretty poor as well. That's another problem we've got.
Yeah,
What
we
was?
got a centre back for you. Don't you agree, Stephen? They could get Rob Holding.
Oh, mate, yeah. You can get rid of Holding. Oh, please, apparently some fans over here got some advocate for him. I don't know what he's done to get an advocate for him, but there you go. Maybe he should try and be their lawyer. But look, I think Stephen Gerrard's decision over Mings is quite. If you've got a record like that with Aston Villa, where if you get dropped, you lose games, it's very controversial if you then decide to take that player out of the dressing room and do so. And I think when I saw it, I'm like, what's Mings done wrong? I don't see what Mings has done wrong to deserve the treatment that he's getting. So yeah, it's a puzzling one for me, but at the same time, it's it's and these are decisions that managers live and die on, right? And if he's not careful, Steven Gerrard will die by his sword by that decision, right? Because if you don't keep the dressing room happy, especially players like Mings, and other leaders in that dressing room, all of a sudden the team's drop tools. As much as we don't like it, right? As much as the fans should be considered when they drop tools, which they will do it though. You've seen it with many clubs, especially big clubs, Man United, Arsenal. You've seen it. So he's got to be he's very careful with what he's doing at the minute because, like you said, Dean Smith was sacked for less, and like he brought you up from the Championship, and he's actually was getting you playing decent football. The results weren't great at the start of this season. He got sacked, but it wasn't as bad as probably now. Right, so
100% agree with that. I mean, Dino lost 5 games in a row, and all of a sudden, boom, he's out just like that. I mean, we had a few more excuses then. We had a few more injuries, and obviously players are out. Leon Bailey, who we had at the time, he had a decent first game against Everton, and then obviously got injured, and then just like that, Smithy was out, just like that.
I was surprised that he was sacked, that he didn't get longer time, especially, you just sold Grealish, who was a big figure for Aston Villa, your main man, and to then have the player that was supposed to kind of replace him get injured and then not get more time. Even though you were playing good football, you will be unlucky with the results, and then go for such an unproven manager in Steven Gerrard. Yes, he did well in Scotland, but if we take things into context, 2 good teams, and then the difference in quality from Rangers to the next team is so big. I think I saw some stat that the last team that won the Scottish League outside of Rangers and Celtic was when Sir Alex were the manager.
Yeah, that's right. I think you're right there.
Mm.
And yeah, just to give context to it, so I think it was a big risk, and he has to start winning games because it's the Premier League. Your owners are ambitious; they're spending money. At some point, they're gonna want to see a big trend, or he could be out in a few weeks' time. We've seen it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if we lose a few more games, we're gonna be sucked right into the bottom three, and then where does he go from here? This is it. You know.
Yeah, and that seems too good to be down there. Way too good.
And
It's like we said
Villa,
before. It's like we said before. But those sides have been too good to be there. We've seen sides that over the past that are too good to go down, but they've gone down anyway. Leeds, for example, I remember Leeds in 02-03 they were getting they were getting European football, right? And then the next season they were relegated. So, and they had a squad that, to be honest, with Duka, Mills, Danny Mills, I think his name was.
Yeah, Danny Mills.
They had
Alan Smith.
They had Alan Smith as well, who went to Man United afterwards. Right, so they had players that did not deserve to go down anyway. But if you are not right and you're not managed well, right, you will end up in that drop zone. I mean, look at Arsenal 2 years ago. Last time we were in Europe, right, because of the managers. You can tell I'm Arteta out, so there you go. But if you look at the way we were playing, we didn't look like we were going anywhere. And all we were doing is getting sucked to the bottom. And we end up 16th at one point. So,
I think he lose the first 3 games last season, and then
the first 3 games, right. It doesn't look so bad now because Man United did it in 2.
Yeah. And if we look into Aston Villa's schedule, your next game is obviously Arsenal away. Then you got Man City at home, and then Leicester away. So
that's the crucial one. That Leicester one's gonna be a crucial one, I feel.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one. Like if
then Southampton afterwards as well. I think.
Yeah, Southampton, and then Leeds away.
Yeah, big games. Could define his future.
And I think you got Man United in the Carabao Cup, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, waste Man United. We need to get them a lot in the cup. We do.
Yeah, so it's a few tough games. That's why he needed to get some better results at the start of the season. So you can, when you lose against, let's say if you lose against Arsenal and Man City, but you were on 10 points already, for example, or you were on 9 points or even 7 points, it would not have been a big problem. But the fact that I think you won 1 game only, if I'm not wrong.
1 game against Everton. We made hard work of that one as well. I mean, we went 2 up and straight back in, as typical Villa thing we do, really. Get ourselves in a decent position, let other teams back in. Always seems to happen.
Yeah. So what do you make of Arsenal before we quickly move into the game?
I think, they're looking pretty decent. I mean, as I was just saying just a minute ago about obviously the last season they'd lost 3 in a row, but then all of a sudden they've really picked up. They stuck by Arteta. I mean, some were saying Arsenal didn't have an identity or a plan, but obviously it appears now they do. They've stuck by him, rightly so, because I do rate him as a coach, and I certainly see Arsenal pushing Man City. Well, Liverpool obviously off the pace a minute, but I certainly see him pushing Man City at the top. And whether they last remains to be seen, but I'm tempted to put a bet on them getting top 4.
That was it. Like that was Carl's last point. But
yeah.
As you can see, we don't rate the manager. So there you go.
Don't worry, I'm taking over the show. You're safe. But yeah,
you got a cheek, and it's like when we go off camera, you got your frigging logo already. Yeah.
I have to make the most of it, innit? Whilst I'm here. Like
anyway, I just want to put this in anyway. Thanks to Sait. Make sure you go sub to his channel.
Don't worry about that, Stephen. You, my brother.
Right, says we're off air.
But moving into the game, what is your expectation? Arsenal away.
Well, I think first and foremost, just don't concede early on. That's going to be the main aim. Just keep it 0-0 for as long as possible. I mean, we haven't actually got that bad a record at Arsenal, but I'm going to be brutally honest, I'm not hopeful. But You never know. The Villa might surprise me, but I think the reality is, if Arsenal don't get 3 points, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah. What about you, Stephen?
Look, I've said from the start of the season we should be winning all first 5 games. There's no excuse. If we want to be serious about getting Champions League football, as much as not any disrespect to Aston Villa, though, I thought I've always counted them as a big club. We should be beating Aston Villa. We should be beating the teams that we've played. And
Especially at home. At home, we should
yeah,
win it.
I mean, yeah, especially at home. I mean, like some people, like I do feel that we just need to stay level-headed. And I mean, because I think too many fans are getting carried away with the results. It's been great, and compared to last season, I could probably see why they're getting a bit carried away. But you need to be like we've beaten Bournemouth, who got actually destroyed, annihilated. They're going down. I can tell from the start they're going down. You've got Fulham, who, to be honest, if it weren't for Gabriel making up for that mistake, we could have fallen apart. It was Crystal Palace is probably the one tough test.
Yeah, away.
I'd say.
Crystal away was
That was the result. So, but yeah, so going into this game, I expect to at home to be able to see this through, so we can go and play Man United on later on in the weekend, and that would be the first major test to see if this side is actually worthy of getting Champions League football. I still say we're still 2-3 players short of getting that, because if you look at our midfield, if Partey's not available, Casemiro is going to destroy our midfield. He's going to absolutely annihilate. You have it all spinning on toast around his little finger. Right? So we're still very short and very light. So we need. It kind of reminds me of the Wenger era, where he'd always have that big team, like that big 11, but then the rest of the bench is not up to scratch. So we need to still get, despite what we're doing, we still need to get certain targets. But the way we're starting, I've got a feeling the Arsenal board will just go, yeah, well, we're good. We're top of the table, 2 points. We've got Vieira, all this, that, and all the other. So, yeah. As you can see, I don't have 100% faith in the board, the owner, the manager, some of the players as well. But yeah, I mean, I expect us still to win. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure Sait's gonna actually love Arteta after this game.
Now, man, for me, like, I've just seen that you've changed, man. Steven, for me, I look at it a bit different from Steven. I feel like we've started well because the owners have believed in the manager, and they've seen qualities in him that they believe if they just back him and give him the players that he needs, that he can take us to a better place than we were before. And I feel like this
He's
season,
more reasonable. That's it.
I feel like this season, the way we are playing is the thing that impresses me more than the results. Because I feel like before we were very slow, it was very back and forward, and it was hard to tell what Arteta wanted to do as a manager. But now I can clearly see it, and you can see that he has played under Wenger now finally, that he's managed under Pep finally, and that he comes from La Masia, which is a good school of football. And you can see that with the implement of Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko and Saliba finally playing for Arsenal, that we have improved the quality of the first team a lot from last season. The only thing that worries me, and I can echo what Steven is saying, is that we should still try and go and sign 2 players. If we can get a player that can compete with Bukayo Saka and someone that can cover for Thomas Partey or play with him, then I would be very, very, excited for the season. Because right
That's
now,
what. So
yeah,
that's why I've said it. That I want two midfielders, one that can replace Partey and one that can play with him. Because I don't have any. Xhaka will have this period where he's doing so well, and then he'll go to Old Trafford and do something stupid. Like, and
He
he
does get the
how
odd
many,
red card, doesn't he?
he has the most mistakes since coming to the Premier League. He has made the most mistakes in the Premier League.
yeah.
And yet our fans seem to get lost to the fact that he has 5 or 6 games where he does well. Yeah, but then he does something stupid and it costs us big time, mate. So
But
that's
that's
why
where
we
I
want
give
to.
the manager a bit praise, Stephen, because when Granit was playing much deeper in the field, because he's not the most mobile player, he could get caught up and you could press him, and that would lead to a mistake or to a tackle
Mhm.
or to a red card. Now that he has a much more attacking role where he can use his left foot either for passing or crossing or shooting, he has a very good left foot. He's not in an area where he can damage us like before, and I think that is the reason why we also see another side of Granit that we might not have seen before. I'm surprised. I don't know about Steven, but I'm surprised that he's that good that in that attacking role, because I thought he would struggle there actually, but he's doing better than what I thought. And I hope that if we get in someone that can cover for Partey, maybe one of Sambi Lokonga or Fabio Vieira during the season can challenge him and play ahead of him in certain games.
Yeah, I feel like this Vieira. The thing is, the Vieira thing is like the Congo is. It's going to take time for him to come into the Premier League. Playing Portugal, playing here is two different things entirely. And you saw with Lokonga, he was decent in some games, but in some games he was absolutely lost. So it that's why we need. And I know people are gonna say like people aren't sure about Tillemans, and I get their point. I get their point, but um, we need someone that's player ready. We need someone that's player ready, and someone that can come in and take over Xhaka's spot. I'm sorry. When
I
it
don't
comes to
think Cinnamon bench Shaka right now. That's the problem.
nah, that's the thing. But like we at least then we know that there's someone there that's going to take over from him because he is going to do something stupid during the season. He will
But
do
my
something
problem
stupid.
with,
And
with Tillman,
and also
yeah, go
just
through the
say
chat. Yeah,
the right. I'll go through the chat as well because I've got to get some comments in. But Ben White as well, right? Ben White is only playing well because he's got Saliba holding his hand, right? And then Saliba in the last game then had to hold Gabriel's hand. Like, if take Saliba out of that squad, out of that back four, back four falls apart. Right? You put Rob Holding there, it falls apart. Right? So, because Ben White is not the answer on the right hand side of defence. Right? He's not a right back. He's a makeshift right back. Right? So that's why we need some. And Tommy Asu's made of glass. Right? He is. He's made of
he had
glass.
one season, Steven. Let's
He's
not
had.
make
No, I'm
let's
not. I'm not.
we
I'm not
can't
having a
make
go at
that
him. No,
statement
no. Give
that
me. Give
he's
me.
made
Give me.
last
Hang on.
year.
Let me know. Let me know. I'm not having a go at him. I like Tommy Asu. He's a good player. Right?
Yeah.
But but he is very prone to injury. So we need someone that's gonna. And I don't think Cedric's the answer to replace him. And I don't think Ben White on the right is gonna be any. He's gonna be anywhere near him as well. But there you go. So we need both of those areas addressed. Hopefully that means getting rid of Ben White completely. Do you want Ben White? We could do a cut price, 25 mil.
I'll take him.
There you go. Done deal. It's done.
I mean, really,
I don't
Just to bear
dislike
in
Ben
mind,
White.
he doesn't like improvement because he doesn't like watching over games. So just bear that in mind.
I don't dislike Ben White like Steven does. I think actually he's a good player.
He's more subtle.
Well, I think the long-term time is Brooke Norton Coffee. He's a very talented right back, and I think next season he probably takes Cedric's place.
Let me just go. I'll go through the chat just now. Also, I need to shout out Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I don't know if anyone's had the news.
Yeah, the news about that.
He's been robbed by robbers in Spain. So, like, thoughts to his friends, thoughts with him and his family, because that's disgusting. Right? Whatever people may think about Aubameyang at this club, don't forget this guy scored 92 goals for this club. Right? He's done a lot than some of the players that are still there have done. Like Xhaka for one. Like, he's done a lot more than what Xhaka's done. So Aubameyang for me is still a top player, and that's wrong on all levels. So I wanted to shout that out because that was not I didn't like hearing that at all. Hey, because he ain't asked this absolutely. Steve, big up, happy bank holiday. Here comes the usual delusional one. Granit Xhaka and Ben White are great. Yeah, okay. Dream on. Xhaka. Xhaka responsibilities are less, and team depends on him less.
Therefore,
yeah. If you take so much responsibility away from Xhaka and like make him less integral to your team, the better, because then like you don't miss him too much. I think Nottingham Forest are on the verge of the 19 players they brought in. Jesus, they need bought a whole freaking squad. That's nearly more than our starting 11. There you go, Craig AFC, big. Ben White, a future legend. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I like Ben White, but not.
Hang on. This no.
I asked.
Get this guy, because I asked him a very serious question yesterday. Right?
Okay.
If Arsenal had the same, if Arteta had the same squad as Pep, if Pep, Tuchel, Conte, Arteta, and Ten Hag, the top elite managers in this league, had the same squad, right, going into the season, exactly the same, would Arteta beat all those top elite managers to get to a title?
I mean, you would have to say no now because there's no evidence to say that he would.
No.
What I will say is that
love to, but no. But that's what I'm saying.
This season, will actually determine how good Arteta actually is.
But here's the thing, and then he said, but apparently he is good enough. Apparently,
certainly, isn't he still quite young, Ben White?
Yeah,
he's 24, 25.
Pretty young for a centre-back.
He's 24. He's 24. That's
but the problem
is with Ben White, and I say this. I don't know if you agree, Carlos. I feel like because we bought him for 50 million, because of when we bought him, we sent Saliba on loan, and because of he's quite a controversial player because he says stuff that normally fans don't want to hear. So he said that apart from what his video analysis that he watched on training, he doesn't watch football outside of training, and the fact that he didn't know Patrick Vieira and he didn't know about the number 4 and what it meant to the fans. That's made a lot of Arsenal fans, and I don't blame them, not liking him. And when you don't like a player,
to be fair though, I have seen like at the start of last season, like we was conceding so many goals due to hit. Most of our if you find a very very good proportion of our goals would be created because he was making basic errors. But ball watching, for example, like the Mitrovic goal, right?
But that's not on him.
No, that's not on him. But like leading up to a goal before, I said literally 5 minutes before, they were getting too much joy down that right hand side because he would go so far forward and then he would go watching as Mitrovic goes off and runs, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got to run backwards." Like so, and then the actual throwing, I see he moves 2-3 yards further forward. And I'm like, we're not going forward yet. Like, so instead of he
But,
just for
but
me, he
Steve,
doesn't have
really,
the.
really, really,
Let
really.
me just go
The
through. Let me
goal,
just
you
go through the
can't
rest.
blame the
Let me
goal.
just go through the rest of this chat anyway, because there's loads of comments anyway. So
Yeah, big up everyone that's tuned in.
the coach of Newcastle say that St. Maximin have an injury. Is that true?
Hamstring,
Yeah, I
unfortunately.
think he's got a hamstring.
I mean,
I
Um,
like him, St. Max.
uh, yeah, I'm always difficult to understand. There you go. I'm a conundrum. I'll go ask my doctor. Trust me. Maximan versus even they have going versus the season. That is the risk of him being availability. Hey, we're before you move on to any different territory here, mate. I back the team every 90 minutes. Does not mean I can't say and criticise my team.
Yeah,
Right? I can criticise my team as much as I goddamn want, right? And there's nothing that you or any other Arteta in fan that tells me I've got to back the club is going to say so, right?
yeah.
Right? So simple as that, right? If you don't like me criticising the team, go watch something else.
no, I'm
Simple.
about to. I've
Right?
criticised Villa this season for
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to be. If you want to back everything that Arteta or the club is doing, right? Go, fine, good for you, but don't stop us criticising our team when we've seen so much shit for the last 18 years that stopped us winning the league, right? So
And with
all I'm
Steven
saying
as well.
is
When it's game time, he supports the club 100%. He supports
that
the
you
man.
see me at game times, I'm pissed off when he score. I've said this season, if we score, I'm going to end up laughing, so I don't get angry. But I still get angry because I want to win. I want to win. Right? I get pissed off with it. I just want to win the game. I want Arsenal where I watched them as a child, up the top, winning titles, winning cups. Not this.
Yeah.
Simple. And I just believe we should be doing it under a manager that's got the capabilities of taking on Pep and Guardiola. Because you saw Guardiola against Palace. Like, they were 2-0 up Palace and they still destroyed them 4-2. Like, that team's scary. It's so scary now. And I know you're telling me Arteta can actually beat him. No, not in your life. Not in your life.
We'll just have to wait and see. Football is a funny
But
game.
again, if
Doesn't
you want to
always
believe
work like that.
if he wants to believe Arteta can, fine by me. No? But anyway, West Ham signed Paqueta. Oh my god.
well, man, I haven't heard of him.
He's the
Mate,
Lyon Brazilian international midfielder. He's quite a creative player. He's good. I would have taken him at Arsenal.
Oh yeah, he's like that. I'd have taken him.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Do you need a hug, Stephen? You all right over there?
That's done like 23 players this year, calendar year alone, that we've missed. And I tell you what, the list is so good, we could have won the league with that side. God, give me strength.
So you can have Coutinho off us if you want.
No, it's all right. Yeah, what do you make of Coutinho? Quickly, I don't think
I'll
he's
take
lived up to
Coutinho.
expectations. He's not
Yeah.
anymore.
As soon as he joins, he's had like one good game, then he has about 3 or 4 games where we don't even know if he's on the pitch or not. He does nothing. When he's on it, he's brilliant, but hasn't happened often enough since he's joined. I mean, he's joined us permanently now, but this season so far,
Can
I
I?
don't even know if he's on the pitch.
Also-
Buendia is a more creative player. He should be starting.
Yeah, I'm
Over-
surprised he's not starting.
Buendia should be getting the game time. I would. Sorry, but before I'll sharpen the set. I need to also just do this, right? And you're gonna. On those sites, probably about to destroy me any minute now. Look, I watched back the last couple of games of Arsenal, because try and get a better understanding of what's going on the pitch. And I've probably been a bit too critical on Odegaard.
I told you.
I know.
Where's the real Steven? Who is
No,
this?
I know.
Who are you?
No. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I explained. You know what I explained to you last night, see,
Yeah.
about the enkelopathy, right?
Yeah.
Is that I probably overreact to certain little things, and because of my enkelopathy, so it doesn't make me exactly who I am, and because of that, I probably just was overcritical. Right, I still feel in the Palace game. And knowing the Bournemouth game, I still stand by what I said with Partey. I still feel it was better. But the Fulham game, he did help Arsenal get back into that game. So I was probably a bit too harsh on him. So there you go. Look, I can admit it. See,
Fair play.
and that's the same
I
with
flip
Arteta.
him.
And that's the same with Arteta. It's the same with Arteta. If he challenges for a league, then I'll change my mind.
I know you will. And the reason why, and people don't know this, was that Steven was actually Arteta in when Arteta joined. So
this is the thing. A lot of people didn't know about my channel when I was Arteta in. No one knew who I was.
The manager. So it's just when we started to, we had that dark period where we lost to Villarreal and we finished 8th, and we were outside of Europe. And it was hard.
It was during that season, at the start of that season where we ended up 8th.
Yeah.
Right. His first full season. That's when I turned Arteta out because of the display against in the North London derby. And once I said Arteta out on camera, and I said I'm turning Arteta out, I'm not flip flopping. I'm not going back on what I said, and I'll still stick with what I said because when I spoke to it to myself, I'm like, why should I back someone that's only good and get something which I don't even want, and I used to slate Wenger for, which is top 4. I want us to go and win the league, and I don't think this guy's doing it. Just don't think he will. So, that's why I've stuck by it. But beforehand, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I remember we got beaten by Villa, and I'm like, he needs to step up. But there you go. So, I'll just go for quick. What was your opinion about Harvey Elliott? That's from Ahmed. Big up yourself. I think he's quality. I think he's a great young player that you're bringing in, and he's in a great system. So definitely got a very bright future.
He's recovered well. Ankle problem as well.
Yeah. How many? To be funny, I was on the way. Had a trip away in Manchester a while back. I think it was the start of last season. Before the start of last season, I went away for a trip. And then on the way back, some guy had gone to Liverpool to watch, a friendly, and he was he joined. He went on Cop TV or something Copish. I don't know what Red Arm, I don't know what it is, but some Liverpool channel. He was smashed out of his bits. Like, he was absolutely pissed, and he was sitting there saying, "Oh, he's gonna be better than Messi. He's gonna be better than Ronaldo." Like, and I'm like, I sat with him in the train on the way home, and I'm like, "Mate, that's going viral. You do know that?" He said, "Yeah, I know." They messaged me next morning and said, "What the fuck are you saying?" I'm like, "Mate, you're famous you're gonna be famous on YouTube for being a complete deluded." Not saying he's not good, Harvey Elliott is quality. How many times will Arsenal make one? I'll get to that in a minute. Odegaard is playing well. When October comes, we will need the Odegaard we see now. That is my big issue with him. Right? We need him not to drop off. Right? The last 2 games have been brilliant. You need to now keep doing it. Right? Otherwise, I'll stick to my original opinion. So,
consistency, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Consistency. That's the one I'm getting pissed off with him.
But he's 23 as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, but again, people going about consistency at Arsenal, right? That's because of our design, because we've decided to go for a young squad.
Yeah.
So you can't moan about consistency because, right, you're never going to get consistency out of young players. Never, unless you're playing FIFA. Right?
But
So maybe,
if it goes well, the young project makes sense.
yeah, absolutely.
It's only if it doesn't work out.
Right. I'll just say because we're gonna.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll let you carry on now. But I'll just say that's
Yeah.
the final question. If anyone wants to do questions, try and keep them towards the game itself, because we need to move that on.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about the game a bit. I think that Arsenal will win. I feel like we should win with the form we are at and with the form Aston Villa are, and the fact that Aston Villa look quite fragile in defense and we look good going forward. I would probably say Arsenal to Villa 0. Unfortunately, Carlos, I would be surprised if we don't win, if I say so. And it's not because I don't rate Aston Villa as a team. I think you have quality players, and I think you guys should do better. But it's not really working for Steven Gerrard, and I don't think he knows his best 11. I don't think he knows his best formation. I feel like he's all over the place a bit.
It is frustrating because he's had the whole pre-season to try and sort that out, and here we are, 4 or 5 games in, he still doesn't know his best team. I mean, personally, I think 2-0's probably been quite kind on us, really. I think it'll be a bigger scoreline than that. If we play like we have been playing lately, it's going to be a lot worse. But hey-ho, we'll have to see.
Yeah. What about you, Steven? What do you think about the game?
I said at the start, I'm confident we'll go into this and win. I want to try and have as much momentum as possible going into the
Away game at Old Trafford against Man
the
United.
away game at Old Trafford. We're gonna now they bought Casemiro beforehand. I was like, I expect before they got Casemiro, and now it looks like getting Anthony as well. Now I was sitting there saying we should be beating not just our first 5 games, the first 6 games, right? Because they were that poor. But now looking at it and what they've done to Liverpool as well, I'm like, that's gonna now be a tough test. Right? So we need, if we get some, to be honest, if we get a draw at Man United, I'm not gonna actually lose my shit about it.
No, it's a tough place to go all away.
Right. It's always been a tough place to go, but now looking at it, I would have been more angry before they got Casemiro. I would have been more angry if we got a draw. Right?
Yeah.
But now looking at it, if we got a draw, that'll be a decent result, especially if Zinchenko's missing and also Partey's missing. Not that I don't rate Tierney. Tierney, I think, had a quality game against Fulham. Okay, he didn't get forward as much as Zinchenko does.
Yeah.
But he came back from injury and he's still rusty. So the fact he kept that whole side quiet was a credit to him. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I still feel we need to win this game.
Yeah. I think Zinchenko is all right. We saw him at the game. He was running. He was celebrating. I think he's more cautious with him. They don't want to risk it. And that is why you need like at least 2 quality players at every position. Because if it was before Arsenal, we would play a player, even though he's 50-50, we play them, they get injured, and then they stay out for a very long time. But yeah, do you have any prediction for the game, Carlos?
I reckon probably about 3-0. We'll lose 3-0. I mean, that's not trying me putting it down. I just think realistically, I can't see us getting anything out of that game.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Do you think Aston Villa will buy any more players before the window is over, or are you done for now?
It's difficult. I can't. There's obviously been a couple of speculation. I mean, there's, as I say, Craig Dawson, but can't see him doing much. There was the guy from Southampton. I can't remember his name. The centre back as well. He was linked as well. But we need somebody who can put the ball in the net. We need a midfielder who can actually be like box to box and do something creative. Well, not so much creative, just be a ball winner, bully other players. And we haven't really got somebody who can bully other players really.
Yeah. I rate Jacob Ramsey. I would love to have him at Arsenal. I think he's a special talent. I just feel like we're not seeing the best from him because the structure at Villa is not correct right now. But
wrong. And Leon Bailey as well, just sitting on the bench all the time.
Why?
I think
his quality
he's decent now. He brings him on against West Ham.
Bailey's a quality player.
Yeah, he was probably your best player during pre-season as well. I saw his game against Man United, and he was tearing them apart. I'm surprised he's not playing.
I don't get what's going on there because he's fit now. I don't understand why he's sat on the bench. Makes no sense. There's something wrong somewhere in that dressing room. I really think Gerrard may have already lost the dressing room, or certainly losing the dressing room. He's not careful. He said he's going to be out.
Yeah, 100%. Because the decisions he's making, I feel the same thing. Something is wrong in that dressing room, and I feel like maybe his ego is getting the better of him as a manager.
I think he's always been sort of my way or the highway. That's what he's been like. And I think in today's football, that don't really work. That's the problem.
No, especially if you're not established. If you're not like a Pep Guardiola or Klopp, where you have the record, you have the CV, you have the cloud, then you can't really work like that, because if the players turn against you, they will sack you rather than get rid of 4 or 5 players, because they cost too much and on too high wages.
That's the thing, is like with Pep and Klopp is that they're such good managers, players want to play for them, right? And die on the hill for them, right? So if a player does fall out with Pep and Klopp, then it doesn't mean the whole squad will, right? No. Say if Klopp fell out with
you kind of seen it with Sterling.
Hang on. Say Klopp fell out with Mo Salah.
Yeah.
After what he's done for Klopp, right? He tries to go calls upset in the dressing room. The dressing room will just call him out and just because they're like, well, sorry, we backed the manager because the manager's done this and done that, done this for us. So, just shush, basically.
Yeah, the only issue I got is if we do get rid of Gerrard, is like, who comes in? There's nobody really out there who can come in. I mean, they've done a list of who might come in if he goes out, but realistically, who's actually going to come in if he does get fired?
Do you think Pochettino would come to Aston Villa?
I don't think he would. I think he'd rather go to a team that's already in Europe or something like that.
Yeah. Do you think you could get someone like Graham Potter with your money?
Well, he could do. So he might actually go there, but then again, Brighton are third at the minute, and they're playing fantastic football. Would you really want to leave a team playing fantastic football, running high to teams struggling at the minute? I don't know, but I'll take him.
Yeah, he's quality. He's a good manager. Yeah, it's hard that when you say it, who would go to Aston Villa right now that will also improve you. That's the most important thing, not just the sack for the sacking. You need to actually employ someone who can take you further
to the next level, basically.
Yeah.
I want Gerrard to do well, but of course. I'm not convinced he's going to take that next level. I'm not convinced.
You know what? This is exactly how we feel about Arteta. We want him to do well, but in the end, I don't think he'll take us to that level. Because it's, for example, you can tell when a manager has been brilliant, and you can tell when there's something revolutionary. It's like when Wenger came in, within 2 seasons, Wenger won the league and the cup. Right? I don't see it. I know football's changed since then, but I just don't see I don't see the same sort of how do I put this? I just don't see the same plan with Arteta. I think it's just a lot of his ideas and his way of football works in some instances but doesn't in others.
I think
But
this season we will have a better idea where the Arsenal project is and how good Arteta is as a manager, because this season he's settled. He has the backing of the board. He
then
has
to
the
be
play.
fair to you, after the amount of money spent last year, right,
Yeah,
and playing once a week, he should have been fine last year.
but you say that, Stephen. But last year we brought like 4 or 5 players into that starting 11. That is always going to take time to.
Yeah, that's why he should have done it very early in pre-season. No, but like there you go. I just don't feel. I feel like for me, he's had his judgment already. He's had 2 seasons, and in the end, the one we finished fifth. Right, if you take Leicester's bad season away and make it the normal season they would have,
But
right, which is
football,
what they had
we
the season
can't.
before, the season before. Let me
Okay,
just, I'll just land on there.
yeah,
Right, if Man United didn't have the, if Man United didn't have the same problem, I would, I'll get your point. If Man United, for example, how do I, if Man United didn't have a poor
I
season,
know what you
and
mean.
if
That if
also
Man
West Ham didn't have
United
a poor
didn't
season,
underperform, and
what
if
I'm saying is that we would have ended up fifth,
yeah, but
eighth,
then
because we had the same record then we did last season, apart from 3 extra wins, same amount of defeats, and more goals conceded. And yet he invested on defence, the midfield, and the attack.
but Steven, for me, football context is important. First of all, three
I know
extra
that,
wins is 9 points. 9 points is a lot during a season. If you get 9 points more every season,
but is it worth
you
150
you
mil?
yeah, but 150 mil is nothing. Anthony costs 100 million. Like, it's context. I think sometimes we are so stuck in the past that it's hard to translate it into the future, because 150 million and you buy 5 players, that's 25 million each per player. That's quite cheap in this modern market, especially for a big club like Arsenal. Like, the problem was, and I know people don't want to hear it, but Arteta come to Arsenal at the worst point where we've been in modern history, where the fan base was totally divided. The players had stopped playing for Unai Emery, and that's why we had to sack him because they were scoring goals and they weren't celebrating because they wanted him gone. I mean, I saw that game when Lacazette scored that equalizer, and
Mm.
he wasn't celebrating
I think
because he
it's
was like,
Southampton,
"Oh,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was Southampton." He was like, "Oh, I've given the manager
Where
more
this man,
more
don't
time."
forget, where everyone that loves Xhaka told us
Yeah,
to F off.
yeah. And the players were mocking the manager. And Arteta has to come into that job, who's never managed before in the Premier League against the best managers in the world. He was always going to need time. He was always going to make mistakes. And he was always going to have to rebuild that squad. And when we look at it today, I know it's taken time. But when we look where Arsenal are today as a club, the fan base is united. We got value in our young squad. We've managed to get quality players like Gabriel Jesus, like Sinchenko, like Odegaard, like Saliba, like Gabriel, and we also have young talents in Martinelli, in Bukayo Saka, in Smith Rowe, in Saliba. Like, it's looking much better, and I don't feel like people take that into context, because it's all about, oh, he's been here 2.5 years, oh, he spent X amount of money, but we had to spend X amount of money because we had to get rid of Mustafi. We had to get rid of Socrates, Kolasnia. Like, these players were not good
I
enough,
get
and
that,
they
but
could.
should the you but with what we've done, we should have got top four last
We
year.
should have got top four. we didn't get
Why did he
top
do that?
four last. But that's what I'm saying. It's football. Like circumstances can change. Like the like for example, the situation before that before the season started, the aim of the club was Europa League, and when he secured Europa League, they gave him a new contract. So according to them, they have a plan. Like as a fan, you don't want to hear that because you want to win directly. But as someone who's owns the club and maybe has another longer term view and is ready
That's
to
this. This is.
sacrifice
I get.
something
You're
I
for
making
get.
something
progress.
that's better, they were happy with him, and that's why they renewed his contract. I know it sucks because we won a Champions League. We are Arsenal. We are Arsenal fans. We want to be in the promised land now. We don't want to wait. But I feel like if we progress this season, it was worth it. If we don't progress this season, then we can point fingers and say, "Oh, you should have sacked him, and he stayed too long." But also, when we're doing that with the squad we have, it's still not a situation where another manager needs to come in and it's a divided fan base and the players are
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. So for me, I'm at the happiest stage where the club is right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. But
Yeah,
as for me, it's like he's had to go 3 goes nearly now. His first season, even half a season, had the chance to get top four. After lockdown, he threw it away straight away. So I'm just after what happened last season, and what hurts the most about last season is you lose. You did it against Spurs as well, which
yeah,
back in the day, if you lost top four or anything like that to Spurs,
yeah,
you get the sack.
yeah. You did.
You
You
get
would.
thrown out the door,
You would.
right?
But do you know what
Especially
the
when you've
problem is
invested so
now,
much money.
Stephen? Is that
And it's not just 150 mil. See, since he's taken over, it's now nearly 400 million pound,
yeah,
and
but
you
that's
haven't
what it
seen
costs, Stephen.
but we still haven't seen. But hang on, we still haven't seen top four in Champions League
Yeah,
football with them
yeah,
400 mil.
yeah,
And if you look at Liverpool when they employed Klopp, Liverpool were nowhere. They were struggling to even get into the top half with
yeah,
Brendan Rodgers, right? So they got rid of him. They brought Klopp in, and with the same squad, they got to Europa League final, right?
yeah.
Within the next season, he qualified for the Champions League,
It
and
did.
he came in halfway through a season with Liverpool, right?
Yeah,
And got themselves into that Europa League final, which they lost.
yeah,
But afterwards, they got into the Champions League,
yeah,
right, on merit
yeah.
because why? Klopp, who didn't even spend that amount of money. Yes, he
Mm.
bought players, but he didn't spend that amount of money. Yeah,
He spent money. He
he
spent
hasn't.
almost over 700 million since he's joined Liverpool. He spent money, Steven. There's a
Yeah, but
narrative in the
no, no, no,
media.
no,
I
no. In the
actually
first,
checked it out.
say, the first season, full season, he did not spend that much money.
Uh, we can go back and check. But what I want to say
But
is
what I'm
that,
saying is that as a league manager,
yeah,
he still had the
yeah,
capabilities of managing a squad which really shouldn't have been in the
yeah,
Champions League,
yes. But
getting them
Steven,
top four. That's what
Klopp
I'm
have
saying.
managed in football for 14 years before he joined
Yeah,
Liverpool.
but that's
He
I'm sorry.
wait, wait,
I
wait,
know people
wait.
are saying that
But
that's.
but wait.
I know, but people are
Klopp has
saying. I'm sorry,
won
but people are
two.
saying
But
that's
Steven,
all.
wait, because you mentioned him. Klopp is the last manager to win the Bundesliga outside of Bayern Munich.
Mm,
If we expect one of the best managers in modern history, if it took him a year to get into the Champions League with Liverpool, Arteta's been at Arsenal a 2.5 year. If he gets into Champions League this season, then surely that is more reasonable. Like Arteta
That,
was never going to be as quick as Klopp. It's not possible. You
then why
I don't
buy him in
think
the first place?
what?
Then why bring him in the first place?
But that's
Why
what I'm
can't we
saying.
go? Why can we
But
get the elite manager? And Why couldn't we go and get the elite manager and
But
have
that's where you
ambition?
have to criticize the owners rather than the manager himself,
Oh,
because
don't
he
get
was
me wrong. I've
always
criticised the owners over
going
this.
to learn on the job. He was
I've
never gonna be
say, come
ready.
on,
Yeah,
I've
I
held
know.
the
Yeah,
owners to
yeah,
account. I'm not completely blaming that on the manager.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I
If I
know.
was a manager with no experience,
Yeah,
I would take the offer. But in the
yeah,
end, right, with the amount of money he has spent and the
yeah,
players he's got, we
yeah,
should never have been knocked out of European football.
yeah,
B, we should never have bottled top four in the position we were in.
yeah.
Right? It's
And
probably
that's
one of the
fair.
most embarrassing bottle jobs of all.
It's
Right?
fair.
And there's been
Fair.
some big bottle jobs. So,
It's
right?
fair.
And it's against your rivals who are known as the professional bottlers of this league, because
Yeah,
they're all far. No, we know what Tottenham are like. They keep saying everything. Let's just go through the rest of these comments before
yeah,
we give predictions, and then see if you need to go. Say I can wrap it up.
yeah. Yeah, you
Um,
wrap it up. I have to go, but my
yeah.
prediction is,
Thanks. By
yeah,
the way,
3-0 Arsenal.
yeah,
Yeah,
3-0. Please, everyone, like, I'll give you. Oh, actually, uh,
yes. So you can find me on my channel, King's Football Show. It's a new channel. I do a lot of Premier League content and FPL content. So if you are into fantasy football, then please subscribe to my channel as well. Make sure you hit the like button on Steven's channel. Make sure you share the content and subscribe. It's a charity channel and everything goes to charity. So please, guys, help my friend. He's a good guy. Even though we disagree on Arsenal, he's my man.
it's all right, mate.
Yeah. So, but Carlos, it was nice to have a chat with you.
It's all right, King
Hopefully,
Hotel.
I'll speak to you on another day. And good luck on the season. I hope you lose against us, but I hope you can turn it around.
Well, I was hoping, but
To be fair, have you got are you doing a preview? Say for the game.
Yeah, I want to do one tomorrow. I'm still looking to get.
What time?
It's gonna be after 5 because I'm working. So from
Right.
between
So
6 and 9.
I'm live. Let me just quickly check it. Let me quickly check it.
Yeah.
Obviously we've got the 29th. We're playing. When are we playing? This. When are we playing?
We're playing them on Wednesday,
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
but the game
mm,
tomorrow. So I would ideally want to do it before the games kick off because it's hard to get people to view during game time. I think
right.
the
So
kickoff is 8 o'clock if I'm not wrong
I've got
tomorrow.
one at 7, and I've got
Yeah.
one at 8:30. So 6 p.m. maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
If you do that,
probably.
then I could ask you one for the Hot of the Pressure, because that's about the Lionesses' European triumph. I know it's been a couple of months now, but
Okay.
and it needs to be talked about investment in women's football in this country, because I
Yeah.
feel that I feel we need to have that chat. I didn't want to miss that one out. That's why I haven't changed the title or anything. So
Okay.
I want to get that done tomorrow. So if you're free, if anyone's free and they want to talk about the women's game, do drop us a DM.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Stephen. I gotta go. We speak
No,
later. Yeah.
thank you, Sait. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos, again for joining
Good
us.
to meet you, mate.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Good luck.
Yep. Right. So there we are. Yeah. I mean, how confident do you feel going into this now? Do you
Well,
like?
it's Wednesday.
First of all, did you want to first do a combined 11 quickly? And then also we could then just give score predictions and wrap it up.
I think we know. You want me to do a lineup?
Yeah, I could do a predicted lineup. I can share screen and we could do a combined 11.
Oh, I know it's going
Which
to be
is
mine. Oh, sorry.
no, what we could, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll do a combined 11,
Yeah, definitely. I think Martinez is going to be in goal for us. That's pretty. Unless something happens to him, he's nailed on for that spot.
No, what I meant by a combined is we'll try and get what we'll do is we'll FIFA 23 squad builder. Oh, okay, wicked. There you go. Right. So, what formation do you usually play? Because we usually do 4-2-3-1, which becomes a 4-2-3-3.
Gerard likes to play quite narrow. He doesn't seem to play with wingers or anything. So
4-3-3.
Yeah, kind of more of a 4-3-3. Usually have one at top, sort of two just behind supporting.
Okay, so we'll do 4-3-3 with a single pivot. So basically, here we go. Make sure you tune in as well. Everyone, guys, get your comments in as well. Nancy got minion. By the way, the link's in the chat. Anyone wants to come on and have their say, please do. I can get it. 100 million euros. Yeah, 100 million euros the most anyone's ever spent. Yes, Kings. Comparing Arteta to experience, man, is a wasted argument. Yeah, the thing I'm saying is just like the thing is that everyone wants to compare Klopp when they feel like it, right? So I'll compare Klopp, like a lot of Arteta fans compares Klopp's and this, that, and the other. But anyway, like I said, if people want to come on, Mel, I know you're working. If you finish work and you've got time, do drop in for 5 minutes. Big up. Yeah, thanks, Carlos, for giving up your time as well. You want to compare, you won't compare Saliba to VVD, to COYG, to Klopp or any, because a lot of fans are saying that we've got an elite manager, right? That's going to take us places. That's why, like, if you're going to be an elite manager, then you need to be like compared to those legends, to those big names. Anyway, look, goalkeeper. We've got Ramsdale. You've got Martinez. Who do you go for?
It's quite tough between them two. It's sort of, they're both fairly even. They're both really good shot stoppers.
I think
you say Ramsdale marginally.
You say Ramsdale marginally?
Yeah, just.
Yeah, all right then. Ramsdale then. I would have said Ramsdale, to be fair. And that's not me being biased. That's just... 74? Are you joking? Right, I'll tell you what, when I get FIFA, I'm gonna up their freaking ratings. That's a joke.
Probably more than that, I thought.
74? Absolute joke.
Bizarre,
right back. I think you get the right back position. What's your right back?
Cash.
Yeah, Cash. I rate Cash. He's a decent right back. Right, stuff. Sorry, I can't stand having Ben White on the right. Ben White on the right.
Ben White on the right.
You know what I mean? Left back, Zinchenko.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Zinchenko.
I think Digne's been another one who's just not performed consistently. I don't think he's any better than Matt Target when we had him.
Do you wanna? Right. I was thinking doing Mings and Saliba since Mings has that record with you guys.
Yeah, on his note, he's a colossus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll definitely say Mings is one of them.
Which one? Which side does he play? Left or right?
He's more left. He's a left-footed centre back.
Oh, that's good. We need let us know if you agree or disagree in the chat. Saliba's going in there. Saliba's a tank. Just so good. 75. I'm complaining. I'm complaining to friggin'.
Who does those ratings? Who's doing them ratings?
Them ratings are crap. That's not fair.
Wow.
Right. RDM would be probably Partey.
No, yeah, party over a lot of other RDMs, to be honest.
We've got 3 to choose from. I mean, Odegaard's got to go in one of them. I feel so. Who have you got as your 3?
It's probably RDM for us. Probably Ramsey. Probably Jacob Ramsey's our RDM, but it's difficult to see who plays well in the Gerrard. But
I could see. Can you put him as I could put Partey as a CM.
That's probably
Ramsey.
See what he is.
And then who else? Who was it?
Well, it's Douglas Luiz. It's Douglas Luiz or John McGinn.
Yeah, but Odegaard's got to get in there.
Yeah, Odegaard.
If we play a 4-3-3, then he ends up going in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with that. Can't argue that one.
On the right, this is I think form base as well.
So possible. Ooh, maybe Buendia from form wise. Yeah, Buendia.
We've got Saka.
Yeah, I think it's quite close between them two, I imagine.
But Saka's not been performing lately, to be fair, so I'll give it a Buendia on form basis. How is Buendia playing?
Well, every time he's come on, he's looked like he's going to do something. I mean, compared to Coutinho,
there you go then. Because to be fair, when we've played Saka, after 20-30 minutes, he's dead. He's finished. And plus, because he's got Ben White on the right, he ends up having to keep an eye on him as well, so he doesn't get the full freedom. Because Martinelli knows he's got Zinchenko behind him, who's he's a title-winning defender, right? Because he's won titles with Man City. Then I'm sorry, like he gets the time and space he needs.
No, I'd agree with that.
So yeah, on the left, up front, it's got to be Jesus, isn't it?
No, yeah. I mean, Danny Ings. Well, he scored for us this season, but
Jesus has been quality.
Yeah, Jesus definitely.
And then I'd go Martinelli.
No, yeah, we usually put Ollie Watkins on that side, but
Martinelli's been better.
Only Watkins, I'm afraid.
Martinelli's above him, to be fair.
Pains me to say it, but yeah, I agree.
That'll be on Martinelli. There you go. That's the combined 11. That was quick. On the left, for your manager, Gerrard or Arteta?
No, you gotta go with Arteta. I mean,
I ain't going with Arteta.
Arteta,
you got to get some. You got to put him in there. I'm not saying that.
It's got to be Arteta.
Yeah, as much as the pain is to say it, if it was earlier last season, I would have said Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, because he had that new management has, but since then, the record's been pretty poor.
So there you go. We got Ramsdale, then Matty Cash, Saliba, Mings, Zinchenko. I know people are going to say, why have you put some players over other players in Arsenal? But we're trying to do it not just form basis, but give it some sort of balance. I'm not being Sky Sports and picking all fucking 11 Arsenal players or this, that, and the other. They do that with Spurs all the time when we play them. When we play them at the Emirates or anything like that, they always put all Spurs players. Like,
it's like 1-0.
I'm like, what's the point of doing a combined 11? Like, and plus, every time you've done that, we've destroyed them. Like, because we've done it at the Emirates. I'm sorry, like they're biased. I'm real.
There seems to be a lot of Spurs bias to those.
Actually, to be fair, look, Ramsey is a more of attacking mid, so
Yeah.
I'll put him there. I'll put Partey there. Sorry. So Partey, Ramsey, Odegaard as the three. Then up front, it's the up front three is Jesus, Martinelli, Buendia.
When the
There you go. I also give him 260 by centre backs. Crazy stat, isn't he? Didn't Buendia have to come off the bench last match?
he's done something.
Look, the thing I'm trying to give it more balance, mate. I'm trying to so that we don't end up with all Arsenal players because I could quite easily do that if I wanted to. Like, there could be like an argument about Matty Cash and the goalkeeper, and that's about it. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to be fair. Like, never mind. Must seen. Mate, Gary, come on, man. Like, if you want to contest it, come on and say so. Like, trust me, the link's there. I mean, yeah. So that's your combined 11. Your prediction for the game, mate?
No, I think I'm going to go with what I said earlier. Probably 3-0 Arsenal. I'm afraid.
3-0 Arsenal. Oh, come on. Let's be a bit biased. Come on.
Well, I'd love to say we'll do better. I just the way we're playing.
Go for it, man. Like, try and.
I mean, honestly, I'll take a scrappy 1-0 own goal to us. I'll take that.
Would you?
A draw even, but
the only reason is like I don't want to say that you. I don't like it when I'm. If I'm a fan, I'm like, well, I'll say a draw or anything like that, or we lose, but not by a hefty amount.
I think
Like, I'd never get Arsenal to like unless I'm really in a pissed off mood with them. Like, I'd never bet or predict Arsenal to lose about 4-3, 5-0. You know what I mean?
I get that, but it's just
if you want to, if you want to stick by it, by all means. But I'm giving you opportunities. You want to check if do it differently. I don't mind.
Well, maybe at the push. If we can get a 1-1 draw, I'll be really, really happy. But
1-1 draw.
I'm a shot for saying 3-0, but I can't see it going anywhere. I just can't see it going any other way. So, you know.
Well, I would have said 2 to be fair, because I think we go 2-0 up, and then we end up letting people back in the game. That's the thing with us. We have a great spell. Like, if you saw the last game against Fulham, if you look at the last game against Fulham, we were so much the better side for the first half. The first half, all the way up to the mistake, we had control of the ball. We were dominating possession in their half. They were basically, last time we did that to Fulham, we played them at Highbury in 2004, where we had our defenders were midfielders, right? They were permanently stuck in their box throughout the whole game, and no matter what we did, we had it off the post, the line, I think even one went across the line but didn't see it. Like, it just wouldn't go in.
No.
You know? And it was just like I thought it was just gonna be one of those games. And then obviously we made that stupid mistake. So the thing is, we got Xhaka and El Nini in there, and that's because Xhaka and El Nini started losing their discipline and their control. Right? Mm-hmm. If you keep rattling them in the midfield, they'll start to lose their discipline. Right? And because of that, they'll come out starting to miss. They'll come out and they'll start like the second half poorly, right? And that's where you could probably hurt us.
I guess we'll have to see, really. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Villa have surprised us before, so who knows?
For me, I would go. I was going to go 2-0. Right, if not that, 2-1, or even 3-1, the same result as we had last year. Right, but I'll go 2-0 because. In fact, no, I'll go 3-1 like last year's result. Mm-hmm. Because I think we'll go 2-0 up. We'll see the City goal. by losing our discipline in midfield and giving control back in the game, letting you back in the game basically, and then we'll concede another, and then we'll score another just before the end to seal it as you try and press forward for an equaliser. That's what I see it as. But I think for the majority of the game, we'll dominate possession, right? And this is the thing: we dominate possession like that, and then we go and celebrate like we won the Champions League when we beat Fulham. Like we beat Fulham for God's sake. We didn't win the Champions League or the Premier League. We beat Fulham. We came from behind to beat Fulham. I expect that.
I don't think they're a bad side though for them.
They're not a bad side, but I expect Arsenal, even if they go 1-0 down, to be able to turn it around. Chelsea, had a sending off, and yet they still managed to beat Leicester 2-1.
It's true that.
So you don't see them jumping for joy because they managed to do it on only 10 men on the pitch. If I was Arsenal with only 10 men on the pitch and we went on to win the game, right, everyone would be like in the stadium, everyone would be dancing and cheering because it didn't look like after sending off we'll get any points because we're down to 10 men.
To be fair, Chelsea, they
Plus
really did.
Sorry, go on.
As I say, it was a good result for that Chelsea 10 men and still winning 2-1.
The other problem I find is the other problem I will find is with our game is that we would, and like I said, letting you back in the game is where like you can really hurt us.
I think there is the danger, I suppose, of you turning up thinking the players turning up thinking they've already won.
Is like we could end up doing that, and we just need to stay focused on doing our job. Right? I feel if we go in with the right attitude, we win. But too many times we've gone in there arrogant, and then look what's happened. So we need to be careful of that. But yeah. So your predictions 3. You sticking with 3-0 or are you going any less?
I'll go for 2-1. 2-1 to Arsenal. 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1 to Arsenal. I'm going. Sorry, just not about
All right.
I'm going 3-1. 3-1. For the reasons I mentioned just now. So, yeah. But it depends how you operate against our midfield. If you get in their face, then we could be a long evening. Sorry, because it is an evening game after all. But look, it's definitely gonna be a problem. I'll quickly drop the link here. If anyone else does want to come on, we've got 5 minutes, which will round it up to about 1 minute, about 90 minutes, and then we can call it quits. But look, there's the link. If anyone wants to come in, feel free to. I mean, who would you bring? I mean, like you mentioned earlier, if you got rid of Steven Gerrard, who would you want to see Villa go and get? Possibly a top manager that's already in the league, maybe. But it might be a struggle getting. Who would you want to see?
Well, I mean, obviously Pochettino is going to be I would take down the Villa, but it's the matter of whether he come. But I'd definitely take Pochettino because he's built top sides in the past and he's got them playing great football. So I would take him. Obviously Potter's another one. I don't think Brendan Rodgers. I mean, they put Brendan Rodgers on the list. I don't think I'd take Brendan Rodgers.
No, I think with Brendan Rodgers, the problem with him is that he does well to a point, and then all of a sudden he drops off
everywhere he goes.
Like, look at what happened with Liverpool in the Premier League. Like, he did so well with Liverpool in the 13-14 season. And then all of a sudden, next season, they were struggling to get in the top half. They were absolutely nowhere. So he has his peak moment, which I think for Leicester was winning the FA Cup, which is in the first time in their history is a thing they can be thankful for him for. But in the end, it's all about now. As much as you've won trophies, it's about getting results now. And if Leicester carry on, they can't afford to go down. It's like what happened with Ranieri. He won them the Premier League.
But then they struggled after that.
They got rid of him straight after it because they couldn't, despite good performances in Europe, they couldn't get those performances on the pitch for the league games. So they were facing relegation form, and I mean proper relegation form, right? So they couldn't just like turn a blind eye to it. They had to go and do something, and that's what they did. So there you go. Carlos, do you have your own YouTube channel? Do you have your own YouTube channel?
I do have a channel, yeah. I mean, it's just mostly goals from non-league football I put on there, but I do have a channel, and it's
Okay, yeah. Let us know what is it about, and if you've got the link, pass it in, and I'll drop it in now. So I just got to do this.
YouTube channel. That's pretty much the name it's under.
What's the let me just quickly get it. What's the name of your channel?
That's just Carlos the Villan. What it says that I can actually get a link for it. Just gives 2 ticks. I can get.
Los the Villan.
Hang on, it should put it. I'll send you the link by message. Hang on. I'll put in the private chat the link. Hopefully that comes up.
Right, leave that. Right, yeah, it's all you're on 436. I've just subbed to you. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna quickly add this in. Make sure we've got to 1.22, so big up to everyone that's done that. Really do appreciate the love and support that everyone does show. So please, if you know anyone else who wants to subscribe, please do. Trying to get to 1.3k now, right? So if anyone can help us by doing so, that'd be really helpful. I'm just gonna quickly just add your name into the link for Carl's YouTube channel. Named Carlos the Villan, is it? Yeah. Carlos the Villan? Is that the name?
Yeah, definitely lost the volume there.
You lost the volume?
Oh, it's muted. What's happened there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I accidentally muted the tab when it was on. I can hear you now.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah, I got you now.
I'm just putting the link in the description.
Sure.
Because I didn't put it I didn't like.
That's fair enough.
There you go. Right. There you go. Right, it's also in the job. If everyone refreshes their stream, you'll find the name in the title of the video, and also you'll find it on YouTube's in the video description. So all you need to do is refresh it. So thanks for doing that, Stephen. I'm going 2-0 Arsenal. I'm afraid, Joe. It's time. Sorry, Carlos. He probably agrees with you, to be fair, mate.
I don't think he's wrong. I mean, as we were saying at the start of the show, if he doesn't get results soon, I think he's already.
So, do you want him gone? Do you personally want him gone? Do you personally think you should move on from him now?
we'll see what happens over the next sort of when we get to like Southampton and Leeds. If we don't get results there, then I think the majority of fans will turn, and there's a handful turning on him after West Ham outside the ground. But I feel they'll really turn on him if we don't get results against like Southampton or Leeds. I think personally,
Exactly. But yeah, as I was saying, we'll leave that there. Make sure to everyone go check out his channel, Carlos the Villan. Really does mean a lot if you could sub to him as well as ours. He's on 437 subs now. So if you can get to 500 by subscribing, please do. If you haven't watched this and watch it on playback, please make sure to go also check out my channel, SFeatleyTV. We do Arsenal Premier League content, all to raise money for Children's Liver Disease Foundation. I want to thank Carlos for coming on. Thanks for coming on. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks to everyone that's been in the chat. Mel, Anthony, right? I know we should be chatting to members only, but like some of you are so many regulars. I count you anyway. Gary, Luke, there's Luca there. Craig, Danny, Miss Mel, as I said, Omar Fantasy, thank you for coming in, and someone new. Ahmed, thank you for coming in as well, right? Even if you put the same thing into Credit King, as much as I disagree completely with everything you say, right? Because I think you're more of a you sound more of a troll than an actual fan. But look, it's your opinion, so you're always still welcome to give it. So it's funny, they give all these opinions in the chat, but they don't come on the same.
Yeah, they actually go on face to face and say it.
But yeah, so big up everyone else that's been in the chat, Jordan as well. So really do appreciate it. Thank you to C as well for taking over the show. But I know I'm still there, but it's only because I felt compelled to be on. But like, if I wouldn't have been able to fit stay earlier to do it, so I just felt absolutely shit. So yeah, thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Make sure to like, subscribe, become a member to help donate to the charity. And also the donation link to the Just Giving page is down below, so please do that. It really does mean a lot. So until then, take care. Bye bye. Oh, sorry. Before I go as well, I forgot to mention. Sorry. We've got tomorrow. We've got the Half the Press show. We've got an F1 show on the other channel, SFeatley F1. Carlos, I swear I saw on your profile you're an F1 fan.
I do like F1. I mean, I've been following it for like 30 odd years, I think, since the days of Mansell and Senna. So
wow. Do you want to? I mean, let us know next time if you're available. We do previews. SFeatley F1. SFeatley F1. It does previews. Obviously, it's the same name, just with F1 instead of TV on the end. But we do previews, qualifying and race watch-alongs, reviews, and then also news and debate shows as well. So we got a news show. We got an F1 news show at 8:30 tomorrow. Same with probably Wednesday, and we got the preview will be Friday evening at 8:30. Then that way I've got a gist on how practice is going. And then we've got, what else we got after that? Then it will be the Dutch Grand Prix watch along. So if you want to check that out, you want to be part of it, do give us a shout, mate, and I'll get you on.
Around time, I'll definitely be up for it. But
yeah,
usually weekends, but we'll see.
Yeah, but like I said, everyone that's tuned in, thanks for tuning in. Really does mean a lot. On here, it will be Half the Press show tomorrow. Then it will be our watch along and a match reaction. Then Thursday, we're live twice, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Deadline Day. transfer deadline day. And then once I come off that and had dinner, we're back on again, which will be around about 8 p.m. And then we'll be running from 8 p.m. all the way to the end of the transfer window to give you the latest updates on how the transfers are going. And if there are any changes at all, please do check out our community tab, because that's where I'll be letting you know if there are any plans that have to be changed because of health reasons. Let me just have a look. Carlos the Villan. Right. What I will do is I'll quickly. Sorry, I should have dropped it in the actual chat. Hang on, let me just quickly drop it in the chat. There you go. There it is in the chat. There you go. Make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe. And guys, we will see you tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye.